Hi, Katie and Jason. We're doing this on February 28th, so we're making the deadline on the February meal. And
do we have to edit and send by the end of tonight? Anyway.
You're doing the work. So we're doing 3 recipes. We are doing something called papa rellena, R-E-L-L-E-N-A.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's fried, so it's really good. And then we're doing arepas, and once again they're fried and super delicious. And then we're going to do a lime cilantro sweet potato for a side. So we are going to get going.
I have chopped my sweet potato into 3/4 inch chunks. They're not uniform, but they're fairly close. Anyway, we'll be back shortly.
So we have to boil up the potatoes. We're going to make a mashed potato coating for our recipe, and we also have to have 1 hard-boiled egg. So we're boiling the potatoes, and Bill is trying a new process by taking the egg and putting it in the basket steamer and steaming it for 11 minutes. We'll see how that works.
Not being one to mince words, I'm mincing onion. That's in the recording.
Okay. What, that you're a ding-dong? So in here we have onion, garlic, a little jalapeno pepper, which is replacing the traditional pepper, which is Aja, A-J-A, I think is the way it's spelled. So I'm supposed to cook the spices for 2 minutes. Kind of have it on a burner that cooks a little high. Then once this is, oh, it smells really good. Once this is done, we're going to add the beef and the eggs we got from Susan's Belmare Farm chickens, and the beef that we're using comes from Meredith and Dave's cows, Angus cows, that we got a little while ago. We got a couple of packages of delicious grass-fed beef from them. Okay, so now that the hamburger meat has been fried with all the spices, we're going to take 3/4 of a cup of beef broth and raisins, and this is going to cook for another 10 to 15 minutes until the broth has thickened. And then we're going to add salt and pepper to taste, and put chopped green olives in here. And Bill's working on the potatoes and the hard-boiled egg, and all of that has to cool. So we're going to let this cool until Bill and I can get together again on Thursday, okay, and finish the meal. We have everything ready to make the papas rellenas, and so I've done a couple of them already to test, since this is my first time making them, that I know what I'm doing. You're supposed to take about 1/4 cup of the mashed potatoes, and what we did was we took a raw egg and mixed it in and made sure that the egg's going to help bind the potatoes. These are supposed to be appetizers, but we're going to make them part of our meal. So then you take the potatoes and you make sort of a little well in it, and then we hard-boiled an egg. And the one thing that I noticed in a lot of the recipes that we looked at, I think I said this earlier, hard-boiled eggs, olives, green and Kalamata style olives, raisins, currants, those seem to be a theme through a lot of the Peruvian food. And then the meat that we made earlier, these potatoes had to sit for a couple of days, so because you have to use them cold in order for them to stick together. We did taste test the meat, it was really delicious. So we're going to put a little bit of meat in here, and that's the surprise when you bite into the potato. And then you're going to start putting the potatoes over.
Egg.
I put the egg in the bottom.
Oh, okay.
You're going to start putting some of these potatoes, and they didn't get mashed super good, but you make like a little lid and start encasing them. And you want it to look sort of like the shape of a little potato. So you just kind of, now I know that meat's probably not supposed to be showing. I probably overdo the meat. I always overdo fillings. But I do that with my tamales, and my tamales are good. So I take that theory into pretty much everything I do. So once I get this sort of the way I want it, the way I think it's supposed to look, then I'm going to roll it over in some flour and give it sort of a heavy coating. Bill's got some peanut oil going in the Fry Daddy heating up, and because of the way that the Fry Daddy's shaped and everything, we're only going to be able to do one of these at a time. So we'll probably do 2 of them so that we can have something to eat, and then if we're still hungry we can do some more. Or I'm thinking we could probably freeze these and pull them out. I've got a bunch of really delicious egg rolls that I made, some pork egg rolls, and I made enough to freeze, and so it's been kind of nice sometimes to come home. The other thing that I thought was really interesting about Peruvian food is all of the other cultures that have influenced Peruvian food over the years. So like the Incas, of course, and then the indigenous people. Then there's Chinese influence, there's Spanish influence, there's Japanese influence, I mean, the list was very, very long. I was very surprised. One of the things I noticed was there was a lot of Peruvian stir fries, just like typical Chinese stir fry that you would do. So we didn't choose any of those because we kind of do that all the time, and we decided to choose some foods that we don't really do. One of the things that we did want to do, and we're not going to do it, we're going to do it later and try and let you know how it is, but it's a Peruvian donut, and it's made with pumpkin and sweet potatoes, which again is in a lot of the foods that we saw, a lot of the recipes, because we have 2 recipes. We're doing 2 recipes with sweet potatoes? Yes. No, we were going to. And then you make this really sort of decadent little sauce that goes over the top with anise and cinnamon and maple and that sort of thing. So we'll let you know how that goes. But I'm going to continue to do this, and we'll be back.
Here I have chopped and roasted these sweet potatoes. I'm going to put them in a bowl. And I like to point out that when I do oven roasting projects, I like to use the sheet pan that won't fit in the dishwasher. That was a joke. Can I hide this in here?
Yep.
Just for right now. Here is this is whisked together oil, lime juice, and lime zest, which is going in. 1/4 cup of cilantro, used by virtually every cuisine on earth except American. And, don't tell Jerry, cayenne pepper.
What, Bill?
Cayenne pepper. Now I will mix them together, and our sweet potato side dish will be ready. Hey folks, I'm ready to dig in. I'm going to use my hand. I've deep fried 4 of the potato with the beef mixtures. The first 2 I was a little nervous about them getting done in the middle. As it turned out, they heated up considerably after the cooking process was over with. I'm going to touch it with my hand. Don't tell your parents.
Z's down there ready for anything that falls. xenophilia. You can see their heads.
Am I supposed to sample this on camera?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Let me see. Ooh.
I kid you not. It's acting like a baked potato with a. Oh. That's really good.
And we have some Peruvian folk music playing in the background. Really good. And now you're eating the sweet potatoes?
Sweet potato, which has a lime cilantro dressing.
Good.
To my immediate right, there's a dog that's going to get a fork in his ear. Yes, very good.
So the corn pancake, I didn't grind the flour up enough, so they didn't hold together real well. But Bill wanted to try it anyway.
Visually, it's not what she hoped for, but it's pretty tasty. There's corn in it.
It's their turn next month.
Oh, it's your turn next month, apparently. You thought of Peru?
You thought of Peru. We were trying to figure out what to do. You said, I don't know, how about Peru?
I was trying to be an idiot.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It worked.
But this is pretty good food. Thanks, guys. Are you going to sit and let them watch you eat?
No, but
Okay.
I'll come around and say bye.
Okay.
Hi, doggies. Bye, Katie and Jason. Let us know what country you pick for March, and I hope that whatever you cook for your meal is delicious too.